Good evening. I'm Captain Carlos Hank of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Office of Internal Oversight and Constitutional Policing. I'm here today to brief you on an officer-involved shooting which occurred today at approximately on August 11th at approximately 7:20 p.m. The Metro Area Unit was surveilling a subject who had committed a robbery earlier this year. While they were in surveillance of the subject forcibly stole a vehicle from a citizen at gunpoint. At that time, Metro patrol officers initiated a vehicle pursuit. While in vehicle pursuit, the subject, they came to the area of Craig and North 5th, and that subject fired at our officers. Officers then returned fire, and the pursuit continued throughout the valley at high rates of speed. Eventually, the subject came to the area of Decatur and Desert Inn. He moved into a parking lot and attempted to forcibly take another vehicle at gunpoint from a citizen. It was at that point our police officers moved in quickly and attempted to stop that action. At that point, the subject got back in his vehicle, drove northbound, at that point at Desert Inn and Decatur, officers fired at the subject. Subject got in his vehicle, drove northbound on Decatur to the area of Charleston and Decatur, where the subject came into a forcible collision with a Metro K-9 unit. Officers took the subject into custody without further injury. Suspect was taken to UMC trauma with non-life-threatening injuries. During this pursuit, 2 Metropolitan police officers were injured. The K-9 officer and another officer was struck earlier in the pursuit. His vehicle was disabled. Both officers were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, unexpected to make full recoveries. The suspect also was transported to the hospital and expected to make full recovery. He sustained non-life-threatening injuries. These are the preliminary details. A member of executive staff will come before you within 72 hours to provide additional details. Thank you.
So you said
Any questions?
you're surveilling a robbery. You said earlier this year. Did you mean earlier today the robbery occurred?
No, this was a follow-up. So a robbery occurred prior to today.
And so you're watching this.
We're watching a subject. We're doing investigative follow-up to investigate, find out what this guy's up to.
And you happen to rob someone at gunpoint as you were watching.
Yes.
The person that he originally stole the car from, were they okay? Were they hurt at all?
I don't have those details at this time, but we do know that they were robbed, and we do have that information, but unfortunately I don't have it at this time.
Were the officers in the substance injuries due to the crash, or were they shot?
The officer sustained injuries from the crash, and the suspect, at this point, what I know is the suspect sustained injuries from the crash. That can change, but at this point, that's what we know.
Is one of the crash locations North 5th and Craig?
Excuse me?
One of the crash locations are disabled vehicles in Metro, the North 5th and Craig?
I don't have that specific information, but I do know during the pursuit, another Metro vehicle was disabled and a crash did occur during the pursuit, and an officer was injured.
Were any other civilians hurt in the process?
So there was a civilian that was injured during this pursuit. They sustained minor injuries, and they were treated at the scene and released.
Did the suspect fire at any civilians, or was just firing at officers?
The suspect did fire his firearm into a citizen's vehicle. That citizen was not struck by gunfire.
You know at which location? Was that the initial carjacking, or?
Those details will be released at the 72-hour briefing.
And how fast were they going? Do you know the speeds?
They were at high rates of speed. I thank you all for being out here tonight. Appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you.